She's 26 years old with a net worth of $16 million. Yet her favorite car to drive every day costs less than what many teachers earn in a single year. There was no inherited fortune or famous family name to open doors for her, and nobody handed her a head start. This is the story of Sabrina Carpenter, a young woman who built one of the most impressive empires in pop music through pure talent and smart choices. And today, we're celebrating her incredible journey by looking at the homes, the cars, and the massive fashion machine that turned a girl from Pennsylvania into the undisputed icon of her generation. Let's start by looking at where the real wealth lives. And in Sabrina's world, that means her incredible eye for property. Long before she was selling out massive arenas or stealing the spotlight at the Met Gala, Sabrina was already making moves in the housing market. She was only 18 years old when she spent $1.7 million on a 5-bedroom home in Northridge, Los Angeles. While most people her age were trying to figure out how to decorate a college dorm, she was signing mortgage papers for a 5,500 square foot estate. The property came fully loaded with a cinema room, a sauna, a basketball court, and a beautiful swimming pool. She kept that house for 6 years before selling it in 2024 for $2.3 million, which gave her a $600,000 profit on a house she bought as a teenager. This wasn't just a stroke of luck, but rather the work of a young woman who understood early on that real estate is the ultimate foundation for lasting legacy. But that house in Northridge was really just the beginning of her story. In December of 2023, Sabrina stepped up her game by purchasing a $4.4 million Spanish Colonial in the Hollywood Hills. This is the specific property that made every major design editor stop and take notice. The house itself dates back to the 1930s, and the design firm House of Rollison spent a massive amount of time rebuilding it from the ground up. The final result feels like a beautiful marriage between old Hollywood glamour and a modern art gallery. When you walk through the front courtyard, the first thing you see is a 5,000-pound fountain imported all the way from Italy. It's not a cheap replica or a modern tribute, but a massive piece of Italian craftsmanship that sets the tone for the entire estate. The interior of the home is even more breathtaking than the entrance. Wide plank oak floors run through every single room, and the vaulted ceilings make the entire space feel open and endless. Custom concrete fireplaces act as the heart of each living area, while the kitchen features a stunning black marble island and a high-end range. From almost every window in the house, you can see panoramic views of the canyon that stretch all the way to the downtown skyline. After the structure was finished, Sabrina hired interior designer Francisca Grace to help the space reflect her own personality. Francisca has worked with stars like Justin Bieber and Alicia Keys, so you know the quality of work was going to be top tier. The two of them spent 8 months together, filling every corner and shelf with specific pieces like House of Hackney wallpaper and Spanish Revival lighting from the 1920s. There is not a single blank wall in the entire house because every inch was designed with love and intention. While the Hollywood Hills home is where she finds her peace, her penthouse in Tribeca is where she truly reigns as a pop star. Located at the top of 108 Leonard Street in Manhattan, this Renaissance Revival landmark was once the New York Life Insurance Company building. Sabrina paid $9.95 million for the penthouse, using an LLC to keep her personal business private from the public eye. The unit covers 9,900 square feet and is accessible only by private elevator that opens up to 4 separate terraces, with 3 bedrooms and 3.5 baths. The home offers incredible views over one of the most famous neighborhoods in New York City. When you add up the Northridge sale, the Hollywood Hills estate, and the Tribeca penthouse, her real estate portfolio is worth about $16 million. She chose to invest in her future instead of renting a lifestyle. And that's why her success feels so permanent. But that's where the story takes an interesting turn. You might expect someone with 2 massive trophy homes to keep a garage packed with flashy European sports cars and custom paint jobs. But Sabrina's actual collection is surprisingly grounded. It's honestly refreshing to see such a successful star choose practicality over pure ego. Her daily driver is a sleek black Tesla Model S, which is quiet, efficient, and perfect for keeping a low profile. Fans have spotted her in this car all over the place, whether she's making a quick breakfast run, heading to a studio pickup, or just cruising through Los Angeles on a quiet Tuesday afternoon. But when it's time for major events or red carpet appearances, she moves up to the black 2018 Cadillac Escalade Platinum. This $95,000 SUV is basically the gold standard for A-listers, serving as a rolling green room that tells the world she has arrived without needing to shop for attention. Now, the cars you see in her music videos are a completely different story, and they really deserve a shout-out for the vibe they create. The 1978 Dodge Magnum XE from the Please 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 video and that stunning yellow Mercedes convertible from Espresso are essentially just costumes. These are props chosen to match a specific mood rather than vehicles she's actually parking in her own driveway at night. They're character pieces used for storytelling, not personal purchases meant for her collection. The pattern here is very clear once you look at the big picture. Sabrina puts her serious money into assets that hold their value and continue to grow over time, focusing on property rather than horsepower. This smart approach to her wealth is exactly why her empire is so stable, and it leads directly into the part of her business that most people completely underestimate. This is the part of the story where the numbers start to get truly incredible in the best possible way. For the launch of the shortest sweet sword in September of 2024, Victoria's Secret created a custom piece for Sabrina that featured 150,000 hand-placed crystals. It took the team 140 hours of meticulous handwork to finish the outfit, making it less of a costume and more of a high-end commission. That's the kind of effort brands put in when they realize you're a massive investment, because they know exactly what kind of value you bring back to them. That calculation turned out to be spot on for everyone involved. Her stylist, Jared Elner, has spent years working with her to build a visual language that's so precise and consistent that they don't even need to pitch her anymore, because brands are the ones coming to her. From pastel corsets and platform heels to those iconic curtain bangs and opera gloves, every single appearance follows a specific thread that her audience recognizes in a heartbeat. That consistency is the real product, and it has made her one of the most effective women in the entire fashion industry right now. The data backs this up completely, and the results are honestly staggering. The Ukrainian label Forlov has been designing her signature hard cutout dress since 2023, and the partnership has been a gold mine. Across just 11 of her Instagram posts, those specific dresses generated over $22 million in earned media value. One single Coachella performance drove nearly $8 million of that total by itself. Think about that for a second. One performance and one outfit created $8 million in advertising value that the brand never had to pay for. The numbers stay just as high when she hits the red carpet. When she wore that Oscar de la Renta gown at the Met Gala, featuring the plaid bodice and orchard-inspired skirt, it generated over $6 million in media value from just 3 posts. She showed up to the Louis Vuitton show in Paris, and a single photo drove over $1 million in impact for the brand. During that same month at the Louis Vuitton show, she was responsible for 11% of the total brand coverage. When she walked the Vogue World runway in a custom Jacques Mousse at the end of July, the moment generated nearly $10 million in value without her even posting it on her own account. Her brand portfolio is basically a fashion fantasy come to life. Redken chose her as their first ever celebrity brand ambassador, and Victoria's Secret credits her with making them relevant to Gen Z again. Every major house from Alexander McQueen to Marc Jacob wants her in their clothes because she moves the needle. Her Skims campaign alone generated $5.5 million in value within the first 48 hours of going live. She also clearly understands her audience on a lifestyle level, partnering with brands like Dunkin', Erewhon, and Blackstreet Coffee. But the move that really sets her apart is that she isn't just wearing labels. She's building her own. Her fragrance line launched in 2022 and now features 3 different scents on the shelves of major retailers like Walmart and Amazon. This is a massive play for volume and scale, and she's pulling it all off at just 26 years old. Now tell us in the comment sections what part of her empire surprised you the most. And when you're done doing that, Click on one of my favorite luxury couples, and I will see you on the next one.